I never imagined that a simple drive through the sun-baked canyons of Colorado could unravel everything I held dear. My name is Emily Carter, and at 38, I'd built what felt like a rock-solid life in the small town of Durango, nestled in the San Juan Mountains. As the lead accountant for a regional energy firm, I'd crunched numbers that powered wind farms across the Southwest, turning dusty plains into fields of spinning turbines. Our ranch-style home sat on the edge of town, where the ominous river whispered past our backyard, and neighbors still waved from their pickups as they drove by. I had two amazing kids, Lily, 12, with her fierce independence and love for horseback riding, and Ben, 9, who could spend hours building forts in the sagebrush. And then there was my husband of 14 years, Ryan Thompson, the software engineer who fixed ranchers' glitchy irrigation systems and brought me wildflowers he'd picked on his way home from client calls.
He was the steady type.
The guy who'd rather tinker in our garage workshop than hit the bars, but who lit up like the 4th of July when talking about our kids' school plays or his latest app prototype. We were gearing up for what should have been our big leap forward. I'd landed a promotion to senior financial analyst at a bigger outfit in Phoenix, Arizona, better salary, top-notch schools for the kids, and a chance to trade our snowy winters for endless desert sunsets. Ryan had been all in, poring over real estate listings and mapping out road trips to scout neighborhoods. "This is our fresh start, he'd say, his blue eyes sparkling under the brim of his cowboy hat. That morning unfolded like any other, alarm buzzing at dawn, quick shower, then the usual kitchen scramble with Lily hogging the toaster and Ben spilling orange juice. Ryan had taken the day off to kick off packing for the move. We needed to hit our storage unit downtown to sort through years of accumulated stuff, old camping gear, holiday lights, the kids' outgrown bikes. "Ready to dive into the Dust Bowl?" I teased, sipping my coffee black, just how I liked it. He flashed that lopsided grin, but something shadowed it, a flicker in his eyes, like a storm cloud over the mesas. "Actually, there's something I gotta show you first." A separate unit. Separate unit? We'd only ever had the one on Main Street. "Ryan, what are you talking about?" His voice dipped low, almost pleading. "Just trust me one last time."
Eminencia.
Please. Those words hit like a gust off the mountains. Trust him one last time? After 14 years of leaning on each other through blizzards and boom times, trust had been our bedrock. I searched his face, the familiar scruff from skipping a shave, the lines around his eyes from squinting at code under the garage light. He looked worn, vulnerable in a way that tugged at my heart. "Okay," I said finally, though unease coiled in my gut. "But you're explaining on the way." We climbed into his weathered Ford F-150, the one with mud caked on the tires from our last off-road adventure. He drove in tense silence, bypassing our usual spot and heading west toward the outskirts, where the landscape opened up to red rock formations and endless scrubland. The radio hummed low with country tunes, but neither of us sang along like usual. "Ryan, you're freaking me out here." "I know, and I'm sorry. It'll make sense soon." He pulled into a faded self-storage lot I'd never noticed before, tucked behind a cluster of pinyon pines. The sign read Desert Safe Storage in chipped paint, the kind of place that screamed forgotten dreams. "I've been renting this for years, off our joint books." My stomach plummeted like a rock down a canyon. "What do you mean, off the books?" He killed the engine, staring at the wheel. "No matter what, remember I love you. I love our life, our kids. But I made mistakes before us, and I buried them deep. Before I could press." He hopped out, and I followed on legs that felt like jelly. The place reeked of dry earth and old metal. We walked rows of rusted doors until he stopped at a large one, fumbling with a padlock. The door groaned up, and harsh fluorescent light buzzed on, illuminating a space crammed like a time capsule. Boxes stacked neatly, labeled in Ryan's neat script: kitchen essentials, kids' room, memories. A girl's bike with faded pink tassels leaned against the wall. A crib mattress in plastic wrap. An antique rocking chair that screamed family heirloom, but not ours. Ryan. My whisper echoed. He hovered at the edge, like crossing the threshold would make it all too real. Look through it all, then I'll lay it out. I stepped in, my accountant's brain kicking in, inventorying even as my world tilted. First box, photo albums, heavy with history. Flipping one open, there was Ryan younger, hair longer, in jeans and a flannel I'd never seen. Beside him, a woman, auburn-haired, freckled, with a warm laugh frozen in time. Picnics in the desert, hikes in the Grand Canyon, cozy shots in a tiny apartment. Then the swell of her belly. Ultrasound pics. Hospital joy, Ryan cradling a newborn, his face pure awe. I dropped to the concrete. Photos scattering. You have a kid? Had. Have, he murmured. Her name's Ava. She's 11 now. 11. Just a year behind Lily. The air thickened, my breath short. More boxes, tiny clothes folded with care. Birthday banners. A fat file of papers. Birth certificate. Ava Marie Hayes. Father, Ryan Hayes. Hayes, not Thompson. You used a fake name? It's complicated.
Eminencia.
Complicated? The word stung like a scorpion. Documents piled up. Leases for a condo in Flagstaff. Bank statements under Ryan Hayes. All overlapping our marriage timeline. How long? Dates screamed the truth. We'd met months after his breakup. I met Laura before you. We shacked up for 3 years in Arizona. Ava came along. But things crumbled. Laura wanted to head back to her folks in Tucson. No marriage. So she got full custody. I could have fought.
But
then I met you. The puzzle snapped together. Our whirlwind courtship. His fresh start story. I'd bought it hook,
line,
and sinker. Deeper in. Recent stuff, emails, medical bills stacking high. Thousands for treatments, kidney failure. Laura's sick, Ryan said softly. Reached out 6 months back. Single mom. Spotty insurance.
Ava.
She might lose her mom. So he'd been wiring cash. Hiding visits. All while we planned Phoenix, closer to them. A photo. Ava. Laura's spitting image. But with Ryan's thoughtful squint. Does she know about us?
No. Laura thinks I'm solo. Drifting.
The unit felt like a tomb of guilt. He'd siphoned freelance gigs. Skimmed our savings subtly. The move. It's about them. Isn't it? He nodded. Tears welling. I thought I could juggle. Be there without blowing everything up. I spent hours dissecting it all. Albums. Ledgers. The web of half-truths. Signs I'd missed, his vague past. Dead parents, a lie to cut ties. Weekend jobs that were really drives south. Legal box, ignored child support. A dusty Arizona warrant for abandonment. You changed your name? Hayes was my mom's maiden. Switched for a license. New job. That's fraud. Ryan. Federal level. More. Forged loans with my signature. Desperate times, he whispered. Laura's surgery. I plan to repay. My world shattered. Not just betrayal, but criminal entanglement. Yet amid the rage, a spark of pity flickered. This wasn't just villainy. It was a man torn, chasing redemption in the wrong ways. But trust? Gone like rain in the desert. As the afternoon sun slanted through the storage unit's open door, casting long shadows across the scattered evidence of Ryan's double life, I felt a storm brewing inside me, not just anger, but a deep, aching confusion. How had the man who'd bandaged my knee after a hiking fall, who'd coached Ben's Little League team through a losing season, become this stranger? Why now? I demanded, clutching a stack of forged loan apps. Why drag me here if you've hidden it so well? Ryan leaned against the wall, his flannel shirt rumpled, face etched with exhaustion. Because the walls are closing in. Laura's worsening. Bills piling up. I can't keep borrowing from Peter to pay Paul.
And
I hate what I've become. You deserve the truth before it all crashes down.
truth.
The word hung heavy in the dry air, laced with the scent of pine from outside. I paced the unit, my boots kicking up dust, piecing together the financial maze. As an accountant, I'd always prided myself on spotting discrepancies. Ironic that I'd missed the biggest one in my own backyard. He'd opened accounts under Hayes, funneled freelance pay there, then dipped into our joint savings for emergencies. No massive shifts, just steady erosion, like water carving canyons over time. You've put us at risk, I said, voice cracking. Our home equity's tied up in this mess. What if auditors flag it? He nodded miserably. I know. That's why I'm coming clean. We can fix this together, refinance, consolidate. I'll turn myself in if needed. But let's protect the kids first.
Turn himself in.
The phrase echoed, stirring a mix of vindication and dread. In Colorado, identity fraud could mean years behind bars, especially crossing state lines to Arizona. But as I rifled through more photos, Ava's school portraits, her gap-toothed grin mirroring Ben's, reluctant empathy crept in. This girl wasn't a villain. She was collateral.
Just like my kids.
Tell me about her, I said finally, sinking onto a crate. Ryan's eyes softened, a ghost of his old warmth returning. Ava's smart as a whip, loves drawing desert landscapes. Quiet, like me. Laura's raised her tough, single mom waitressing shifts while battling dialysis. His voice broke. I bailed when it got hard.
Eminencia.
Thought starting over with you would erase it. But guilt's like a bad debt, it compounds. We talked for hours as the light faded, the unit growing cooler with the mountain evening. He laid it all bare, the panic after Ava's birth, Laura's ultimatum to commit or leave, his cowardice in choosing escape, meeting me at a tech conference in Denver, falling hard, building our life while burying the old one. Recent months, Laura's diagnosis, anonymous cash drops turning into visits, forging docs when funds ran dry. I never touched our retirement, he swore. Just enough to keep her afloat, but just enough had snowballed, $150,000 in hidden debt. Some in my name. Rage surged again. You made me a criminal without asking. He hung his head. I did. And I'll own it. Driving home through twilight valleys, silence thick between us, I wrestled with next steps.
Report him? Divorce? Or
something else? Western life had taught me resilience, ranchers fixing fences after storms, communities rallying post-wildfire. Maybe our marriage could mend, but only with brutal honesty. At home, the kids tackled us with hugs, oblivious. How was storage day? Lily asked, twirling her braid. Dusty, I managed, forcing a smile. That night, as Ryan slept fitfully beside me, I stared at the ceiling beams, moonlight filtering through curtains. Betrayal burned, but so did the thought of shattering two families. By dawn, a plan formed, no knee-jerk revenge, but calculated steps toward justice and healing. First, I called a family lawyer in Durango, Sarah Klein, specializing in marital fraud. Document everything, she advised over coffee at a Main Street cafe. But Colorado's no-fault divorce state, focus on asset division.
Custody.
For fraud, involve authorities carefully. It could boomerang if you're seen as complicit.
Her words grounded me.
Next, I confronted the finances head-on, auditing our accounts with forensic precision. Ryan cooperated, handing over passwords, explaining transfers. We froze suspect cards, disputed forgeries with banks, proving my ignorance via timestamps and IP logs. This could take months, I sighed.
He squeezed my hand.
I'll testify to it all. Whatever it takes. Then came the harder part, reaching out to Laura. Ryan dialed. Speaker on. His face ashen.
Laura.
It's Ryan. With my wife. Emily. Silence. Then her voice. Weary but sharp. Your wife? What the hell? I took over. Explaining calmly, the storage reveal. The lies. Our shared shock. I'm not here to fight. But we need to untangle this for the kids' sake. She softened, sharing her side, raising Ava alone. Recent health battles. Ryan's reappearance feeling like a lifeline. He sent money, visited, said he was single, working remote. I believed him. Tears choked us both. By call's end, an uneasy alliance formed. Let's meet, she suggested. In neutral territory. For Ava. The drive to Flagstaff felt endless, winding through ponderosa forests and red cliffs. Ryan fidgeted, but I drove steady, radio off. At a roadside diner, Laura waited, pale but poised, Ava beside her,
sketching on a napkin.
The girl looked up, eyes wide like Ryan's.
Dad.
Introductions were awkward, but honest. I explained simply, your dad made mistakes, but he loves you. We're figuring out how to make it right, over burgers and fries. Stories flowed. Laura's struggles. My life in Durango. Ava shyly showed drawings. Ryan teared up.
No feritale reunion.
But a start. Back home,
therapy began.
Family sessions unpacked the deception's toll. Trust rebuilds slowly, our counselor said. Like regrowing after a burn scar. Ryan owned his flaws, abandonment issues from his own absent father. Fear of failure driving the lies. I vented hurt, but saw his remorse as genuine, not manipulative. Legally, we navigated carefully. Ryan self-reported the fraud to Arizona authorities, cooperating fully. Charges loomed, misdemeanor forgery in Colorado, felony abandonment interstate, but his proactive stance helped. A plea deal emerged, probation,
restitution via garnished wage,
mandatory counseling. No prison, but accountability. Financially, we sold non-essentials, his truck. Extra land, covering debts without bankruptcy. The Phoenix move? Postponed. Instead, we stayed in Durango, closer to roots, while Ryan commuted for visits. Slowly, bridges built, Ava Skyping Lily, sharing art tips, then asking about his bonus sister. Drama lingered, tense nights, lingering doubts, but humanity won. Ryan's plea had opened not just wounds, but paths to forgiveness. In the West's vast spaces, we found room to heal. Months blurred into a rhythm of reconstruction, the kind that tests your grit like a long trail ride through rugged terrain. The initial shock of Ryan's secrets had faded, replaced by the daily grind of mending what was broken. In Durango, life didn't pause for personal dramas. The river kept flowing. Tourists flooded the narrow-gauge railroad, and my job at the energy firm demanded focus on balance sheets that, ironically, now mirrored my own life's precarious equilibrium. Ryan threw himself into atonement, taking extra freelance gigs to repay debts, attending AA-style support groups for compulsive liars. Yeah, those exist out here where self-reliance meets self-destruction. "I'm done hiding," he'd say over breakfast, his eyes clear for the first time in ages. But healing wasn't linear. It zigzagged like the switchbacks up Molas Pass. One evening, as sunset painted the mountains gold, I found an old email on his laptop, pre-reveal. "To Laura, miss you both. Working on being the man you deserve." Jealousy flared, hot as a brush fire. "How many more layers?" I snapped, slamming the screen. He didn't defend, just held me as I raged, then cried. "No more." That's the last ghost. Therapy helped unpack it, my trust issues now. His pattern of compartmentalizing pain. We role-played tough talks, rebuilding communication like stacking stones for a cairn. The kids adapted with kid resilience. Lily, ever the tomboy, channeled anger into writing lessons, galloping across meadows as if outrunning the hurt. Dad messed up big, she'd say matter-of-factly. Ben was trickier, nightmares of losing Ryan, clinging during good nights. We explained age appropriately. Dad had another family before, but chose wrong by keeping secrets. Now we're choosing truth. Laura became an unlikely ally. Video calls evolved from stiff updates to genuine chats, sharing parenting hacks, commiserating over health woes. Her kidney disease stabilized with better meds, funded partly by Ryan's restitution plan. "You're handling this with grace I couldn't muster," she admitted once. "Out here in Tucson, folks say water under the bridge, but you've built a dam." Ava blossomed in the connection, mailing drawings of cacti that Lily pinned up. First joint visit, a weekend in Sedona's Red Rocks. Tense at first, Ryan navigating two worlds colliding, but magic happened hiking vortex trails. Ava and Ben bonded over spotting lizards. Lily taught her rope tricks. Laura and I trailed behind, trading stories. "He left me high and dry," she confided. "But seeing him now, maybe people change." "Maybe," I echoed, watching Ryan laugh with the kids. A weight lifted. Legally, the net tightened, but didn't strangle. Arizona prosecutors, impressed by Ryan's voluntary disclosure, offered a deferred adjudication, complete probation, pay full restitution $120,000 over 5 years, and no reoffending. Colorado added community service, volunteering at a fraud victims hotline. Fitting irony. Banks reversed most forgeries after our affidavits proved my non-involvement. "You're lucky," Sarah Klein noted. "Many spouses get dragged down." We refinanced the house. Tightening belts, no more spontaneous road trips. But potluck dinners with neighbors sufficed. Ryan's employer kept him on, valuing his skills despite the scandal. Western code. Own your mistakes. Earn your keep, his boss grunted. Drama peaked during a court-mandated mediation in Phoenix. Ryan faced Laura formally for child support arrears. Tensions boiled, her lawyer grilling his abandonment, him admitting fault without excuses. I was scared. Selfish. But I'm here now.
Judge.
A no-nonsense type with a BOLO tie. Approved a catch-up plan. Bi-weekly visits. Shared holidays. Ava testified shyly. I want my dad around. But real this time. Tears all around. Back in Durango. That ruling sparked our first real family meeting. all 5 kids via Zoom. "This is weird," Lily quipped. "But kinda cool?" We laughed. The sound healing. Ryan shared his lesson. Secrets erode like sandstone. Truth builds mountains. I added mine. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's choosing forward. As fall turned the aspens golden, normalcy crept back. Ryan and I rediscovered intimacy, slow dances in the kitchen to old country songs, honest talks under starlit skies. "I almost lost you," he'd whisper. Never again. But scars remained. Trust was a muscle, strengthening with use. One crisp morning, hiking with the kids, Ben asked, "Will we ever move to Phoenix?" Ryan glanced at me. "Maybe someday." As one big, blended crew. Lily rolled her eyes. "As long as there's horseback riding." Laughter echoed off the cliffs. In that moment, amid the vast western expanse, I felt the drama shifting, not to revenge, but renewal. Ryan's plea had ignited chaos, but from the ashes rose something stronger, a family forged in fire, grounded in truth. Yet doubts lingered like afternoon thunderstorms. During a solo drive to a client in Cortez, I replayed it all, the storage unit's fluorescent glare, the weight of those photos. Was I naive for staying? Friends whispered, as much over coffee. Cut and run.
Eminencia.
Once a liar. But out here, where pioneers rebuilt after floods and fires, second chances weren't handouts, they were earned. Ryan proved it daily. Transparent finances, shared apps tracking every cent. Open phone policy. Weekly check-ins. And the kids thrived, Lily mentoring Ava online. Ben excited for sister sleepovers. Laura's health improved post-surgery. She even visited Durango, bonding over green chili stew. The turning point came during a winter storm. Power out. Us huddled by the fireplace. Ryan shared his deepest fear. I thought admitting failure meant losing everything. I held his hand. Failure's just a detour, not the end of the road. That night, vulnerability bridged the gap. By spring, we'd integrated routines, Ava's summer visits, joint birthdays, legal loose ends tied, full debt repayment schedule approved, probation reports glowing. Model rehabilitation, the officer noted. Our story, once a private inferno, became a quiet testament to resilience. In the American West's unforgiving beauty, we'd learned that betrayal's sting fades when met with compassion's balm. Ryan's last plea hadn't destroyed us, it had, improbably, saved us. As the seasons cycled through the high desert, blistering summers giving way to crisp autumns, the fabric of our remade life strengthened.
Tret be tret.
Durango's community, with its mix of rugged individualists and tight-knit families, offered subtle support, a neighbor dropping off elk jerky with a knowing nod, my boss extending flex hours for therapy runs. Ryan embraced change like a reformed outlaw, channeling energy into a side hustle developing apps for rural nonprofits, free tools for fraud prevention. His way of paying forward. Can't undo the past, he'd say. But I can build better fences. Challenges persisted. Dramatic flares in our ongoing saga. Lily hit a rebellious phase, testing boundaries with late-night texts to friends about Dad's epic screw-up. One heated argument exploded. How can you forgive him? Mom, he lied to everyone. Her eyes blazed like wildfire. I pulled her close. Forgiveness isn't easy, it's a choice. Like choosing to saddle up after a fall. Ryan joined, owning it. I hurt you most.
Kiddo.
But I'm fighting to be worthy now. Tears led to talks. Then hugs.
Then.
More internal. Drew family portraits including Ava, stick figures under a big sun. Labeled all together. His innocence reminded us what was at stake. Blending families ramped up the drama. Ava's first extended stay coincided with a heat wave, tensions simmering like asphalt. She arrived shy, clutching a backpack of sketches, eyeing her home like foreign territory. "It's so green here," she marveled, used to Tucson's aridity. Initial awkwardness, Lily's possessiveness over her room, Ben's endless questions, evolved into bonds. They biked river trails, shared ghost stories around campfires. Laura joined for the pickup, her health steadier post-transplant. "Thanks for including us," she said over iced tea on the porch. "Never thought I'd say this." But Ryan stepping up. We swapped war stories, laughing at his quirks, his hatred of cilantro, his terrible singing. An alliance born of shared pain. Legally, milestones marked progress. Ryan's probation hearing in Flagstaff, clean record. Restitution on track, $80,000 paid. The judge, peering over glasses, commended. Rare to see such turnaround. "Keep it up." Back home, we celebrated modestly. Picnic at Vallecito Lake. Kids splashing while Ryan and I reflected. "Feels like probation for a marriage too," I admitted. He nodded. "And I'm acing it. One honest day at a time." Financially, we clawed back stability. My promotion covered gaps. Ryan's app gig added buffer. We even started a truth fund, savings for family adventures, symbolizing transparency. But humanity shone in quiet moments. During a monsoon downpour, Ryan confessed lingering guilt over abandoning Ava Young. I was a coward, running from responsibility. I listened, rain drumming the roof. We all run sometimes. The keys turning back. That vulnerability deepened our connection, turning drama into depth. Ava's birthday brought catharsis, a joint party in Sedona, balloons bobbing in vortex winds. Ryan gave her a custom sketchbook app he'd coded. Tears flowed as she hugged him. Best dad gift ever. Lily whispered to me, "This is weirdly okay." Ben beamed. Two sisters rock. As winter snow blanketed the peaks, introspection hit. Alone on a cross-country ski trail, I pondered the journey, from betrayal's abyss to this fragile peace. Staying wasn't weakness, it was strength, choosing growth over grudge. Friends noticed, "You glow different now." Therapy affirmed, "You've modeled resilience for your kids." Ryan's transformation was evident, open, engaged. A far cry from the secretive man I'd uncovered. One starry night, stargazing from our deck, he proposed renewing vows. Not to erase, but to recommit honestly. I agreed, tears freezing on cheeks. To truth. And us. The ceremony was simple, backyard under spring blooms. Kids as witnesses.
Laura attending via video.
Vows raw. I promise no more shadows. I promise to see your light. Rings exchanged. A kiss sealing the pact. Drama? Sure, life's full of it out west, where storms sculpt landscapes. But we'd weathered ours, emerging wiser. The lesson whispered in the wind. Betrayal breaks, but compassion rebuilds. Ryan's plea had sparked the fire. Our choices fanned it into warmth. Yet, as with any epic, twists lingered. A call from Arizona authorities. An old warrant surfaced. Minor but nagging. Ryan faced it head-on, pleading out with community service, teaching digital ethics at a Tucson youth center. Full circle, he mused. Ava joined him sometimes.
Proud.
Our blended dynamic matured. Holidays alternated. School events shared. Lily and Ava became confidants. Ben the peacemaker. Laura dated again. Her recovery inspiring. In Durango's embrace, We'd forged not just survival, but thriving, a testament to human frailty and fortitude. Years later, reflecting on that fateful storage unit day feels like recounting a legend from the Old West, a tale of deception, a showdown, and hard-won redemption. Durango remained our anchor, its mountains a constant reminder of enduring through trials. At 42 now, I'd advanced to CFO at the energy firm, overseeing projects that lit up remote ranches, mirroring how we'd illuminated our own shadows. The kids flourished, Lily, 16, competing in rodeo events with fierce determination, Ben, 13, coding apps alongside Ryan, Ava, 15, visiting often, her art gracing galleries in Tucson. Blended holidays became tradition, Thanksgiving feasts with green chili turkey, Christmas hikes in snow-dusted canyons. Ryan's evolution was profound. Probation completed, debts erased. He founded a nonprofit for family reconciliation, speaking at conferences about escaping the lie lasso. I hit rock bottom, he'd share, but climbed out with help. Our marriage, renewed, deepened into partnership, honest debates, shared dreams. No more secrets. We tackled issues like partners on a cattle drive. Drama? Life supplied plenty teen angst, health scares, but we faced them united. Laura remarried a kind rancher. Her full recovery sealed our extended family's bond. We turned poison into medicine, she toasted at a gathering. The ultimate lesson crystallized during a family backpacking trip in the Weminush wilderness. Around a campfire, stories flowed, Ryan's regrets, my resilience, kids' perspectives. Secrets nearly broke us, I said, stars wheeling overhead. But truth mended stronger. Ryan added, trust isn't given, it's earned daily. Lily nodded, like breaking a wild horse. Ben, or debugging code. Ava, painting over mistakes.
Laukatarang.
Echoing off peaks. In that vastness, humanity's core shone, we're all flawed, capable of harm and healing. Ryan's plea, trust me one last time, hadn't been manipulation, it was a desperate bridge to honesty. We'd crossed it, building a legacy of compassion.
Now,
as sun sets over the San Juans, painting skies in fire, I feel gratitude. Betrayal's scar remains. A reminder to stay vigilant, but it doesn't define us. We've taught our kids, own your wrongs, extend grace, forge ahead. In America's West, where pioneers turned hardship into home, we'd done the same. The storage unit? Long closed. Its contents integrated, photos and albums. Bike ridden by Ben. No shrines to guilt, just mementos of growth. Ryan's arm around me. Kids' voices drifting from the house. This is our truth. Hard-earned and beautiful. Years unfolded like chapters in a Western epic, each building on the last, turning our saga from tragedy to triumph. Durango's rhythms, river rafting seasons, ski slopes in winter, mirrored our recovery's ebb and flow. By 45, I'd spearheaded sustainable energy initiatives, empowering communities much like we'd empowered our family. Ryan's nonprofit thrived, helping dozens navigate deception's aftermath. Your stories saved mine, clients wrote, affirming our path. The kids grew into remarkable young adults. Lily pursued veterinary science, her rodeo grit translating to animal rescues. Ben interned at tech startups, crediting Ryan's lessons in ethical coding. Ava, studying art in Phoenix, exhibited pieces inspired by our blended journey, abstracts of merging landscapes. Annual reunions in Sedona became sacred, hikes debating life's twists, evenings sharing dreams. Drama evolved, college stresses, first heartbreaks, but our foundation held a safety net of open dialogue. Laura's family integrated seamlessly. Her husband, a steady presence, hosted barbecues where stories flowed freely. From rivals to relatives, she'd joke. Ryan and I, silver threading our hair, found joy in quiet adventures, sunrise horseback rides, stargazing picnics. We beat the odds, he'd murmur. Because you chose mercy. And you chose change, I'd reply. The profound lesson? Humanity's capacity for renewal. In a world quick to condemn, we'd opted for understanding, acknowledging pain without letting it poison. Ryan's final plea ignited transformation, teaching that from deepest betrayal blooms greatest growth. As grandchildren arrive, Lily's first on the way. We pass it on, embrace truth, extend forgiveness, build unbreakable bonds. In the West's timeless expanse, our story endures, a beacon that even shattered trust can mend into something eternal.